This is Alex Eala's moment. Our dinners, our evenings are fixated when she's playing. That's real tennis fan.
Alex Eala steps off the plane in Washington, D.C. And the first thing waiting for her isn't a crowd, it's a scouting report. Somewhere in a locker room at the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center, coaches for Leylah Fernandez, Elina Svitolina, Madison Keys, Naomi Osaka, and Venus Williams already know exactly where to attack her, and they know it because Martina Navratilova said it out loud on television 2 weeks ago.
They're blessings. Being here is a blessing. I worked super hard to get here, and I'm taking it. If I have it, I have the chance, I'm taking it. Yeah.
It's obvious.
Eala became the first Filipino player in the Open era.
This is the Mubadala City DC Open, July 27th to August 2nd, a WTA 500 event with a total financial commitment of $1,637,982. Eala's in the 28-player main draw on direct acceptance. Her ranking's now high enough that she skips qualifying altogether. But direct acceptance isn't protection. It just means she walks straight into a field built to test the one part of her game that broke down at Wimbledon.
Tennis Weekly here, and Alexandra Eala creating more history on the tennis court. She is the first player from the Philippines to reach week 2 at a major in the Open era. And Chris, I'm not gonna lie, the reaction, the buzz, the support for Eala, it's on a scale I don't think I've ever seen before.
I've never seen anything like it either. I think the amount of attention she gets, the buzz that she generates is absolutely huge. I think it's bigger than some of the top players, the number ones in the sport.
Here's the shift. For most of her grass court run, Eala's serve was actually working for her, just not in the way a serve normally wins matches. Against Iga Świątek, the defending champion and world number 3 on center court on July 4th, Eala's unusually slow, spinny serve did something strange. It confused a champion. Świątek said it herself afterward. I think it was tougher mentally for me to accept these missed returns from the slow serves. I got to say it's much tougher to return a serve like that than a normal serve. Eala won that match in straight sets, 7-6, 9, 6-2. The puffball worked. Nobody was talking about her serve as a weakness yet. But this wasn't the end of that story. It was the beginning of a different one. 2 rounds later, Eala ran into Jasmine Paolini, world number 17, and nothing like Świątek stylistically. Paolini doesn't get baited by unpredictability. She steps inside the baseline and she attacks. And attack she did. Paolini won 53% of Eala's second serve points across that 3-set match, 4-6, 6-4, 3-6. The same serve that dismantled a Grand Slam champion's timing got dismantled itself by a player willing to just take the ball early and hit through it. Eala walked off center court to a standing ovation, but the scouting report had already been written. And then Martina Navratilova, 7-time Wimbledon champion, sat down on the Tennis Channel and put a name to exactly what happened. She needs to change her grip and use her leftiness more. She was not slicing, she was hitting most of her serves to Paolini's forehand, not to her backhand with a slice. Navratilova didn't stop at diagnosis either. She made a claim that's now hanging over every match Eala plays from here forward. Her serve should be as good as, if not better than, Paolini's, because Paolini is shorter, so work on that. Eala is 1.75 meters tall. That's height that should be a weapon, and right now it's a wasted resource. Navratilova said so on air, along with former world number 4, Greg Rusedski, for the whole tennis world to hear. So here's the real question underneath the DC Open draw. It's not how far can Alex Eala go in Washington. It's has 2 weeks been enough time to fix a grip. Just look at who's standing across the net from her this time. Leylah Fernandez, the defending champion, is a lefty herself, someone who spent years studying exactly the kind of angles Eala tries to create. Elina Svitolina already lost to Eala once this season in straight sets at Berlin's Steffi Graf Stadion, and you can bet she's looking for the return match. Naomi Osaka has one of the most aggressive return games in the sport, and Venus Williams is in the draw as a wild card, a name Eala herself brought up in her Wimbledon press conference when she said achievements like hers might look small to someone like Serena or Venus Williams. Now, Venus isn't just a reference point in a quote. She's a potential opponent on a hard court in real time. And that's where the tension resets again, because hard courts don't behave like grass. On grass, a low, skidding, awkwardly paced serve can die into the surface and stay low. On a hard court, the bounce is higher, more predictable, easier to get a racket on if you're already sitting inside the baseline. If Paolini could do 53% damage on grass, a hard court version of that same aggression could, in theory, do even more. And that's not speculation pulled from outside the file. It's the mechanical logic sitting right underneath Navratilova's own critique. The stakes stack from here, too. DC isn't an isolated stop. It runs directly into the National Bank Open in Toronto, August 2nd to 13th, a WTA 1000 event with a $7,433,076 prize pool, nearly 5 times the size of DC's total commitment. A strong DC result pushes Eala's ranking toward a seed in Toronto, which would earn her a first-round bye. A rough one, exposed on that same second-serve seam Paolini found, and she could be walking into Toronto unseeded, facing top-tier players in round 1 with no cushion at all. Every match in DC isn't just a match, it's a ranking input for a bigger tournament. 11 days later, this is also the moment the Eala effect gets tested away from the emotional peak of a Grand Slam. Sportscaster Sev Sarmenta once described the phenomenon this way: many Filipinos live in different parts of the world, and sports keeps us grounded and connected while cheering for our athletes. That connection built to a fever pitch during Wimbledon. Now it has to sustain itself through a WTA 500 in a city with no center court mystique, no royal meet and greet, no defending champion storyline of her own. Just a draw sheet full of players who watched the same Navratilova segment everyone else did. Eala's coaches, Joan Bosch and Alexandro Villaine, have had roughly 3 weeks since the Paolini loss to work on exactly what Navratilova called out: grip slice, using that lefty angle into the backhand instead of feeding forehands. Whether that shows up in Washington against a lineup that includes a fellow lefty in Fernandez and a proven aggressor in Svitolina is something no press release or ranking chart can answer in advance. So the question isn't whether Alex Eala arrived in DC. The question is whether the serve that got exposed on center court 11 days ago has already been rebuilt, or whether Rock Creek Park is about to hand her the same lesson all over again on a surface with even less room to hide.